Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is going to be, yet again, DC Fandome, discussing it, and with my guest, as always, the triple threat himself, Chris Trio.
Gooch, we're discussing DC Fandome again. I didn't even realize we did this before.
We did. I think the last Fandome was in the summer of last year.
That would make sense.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because we got that back. Yeah, this summer. But, before we jump into our topic, while we're waiting, pretend we're waiting outside in line to enter the dome.
The CGI dome.
Yeah, we're going in and
we're waiting to get on that green screen soundstage to be transported.
We're shooting the shit. Trio, what have you been up to? It's been probably exactly a month since we recorded our last podcast, which was the Black Canary one.
Yeah, it's been a while, actually.
Green Lantern one, I think.
Time flies. It doesn't feel like a month ago. Truthfully.
Oh, to me it does.
It's weird. But
that felt like a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess it kind of does now that you're talking about it. But I haven't been up to a ton of new stuff. Unfortunately, it's not really. You know me. I replay a lot of stuff, but I did start watching Squid Game, the craze that has been taking over the world. And
Squid Game. Yeah.
3 episodes in, it's pretty good so far. I don't think it's anything like mind bending. I think I was listening.
Is it crazy, or does it
It's pretty nuts, but I don't think it's like anything that's like that hasn't been done yet in the way of
it's like
crazy
Hunger.
stuff.
It's like Hunger Games but Korean.
And they play school ground games.
Are you watching the dub or the sub?
Sub. I heard the dub is insane.
Here's the thing. From someone who watches anime, when anime is dubbed, they do it in the sense where anime dubbed is I think relatively of quality. Debate me all you want there, weebs, but I think it's especially for genuine quality. But when you're dubbing real life show, when mouth movement, when those actors are clearly speaking Korean when they're acting it,
it throws you off.
It is. I think it's very immersion breaking to the point where I would just watch it in its intended language.
Yeah, I will. Someone was telling me that the dub doesn't even match the subtitle.
Well,
does that happen traditionally?
That's the same thing with always coming back to Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid scripts from Japanese to English are different because words are just translated differently.
No, I get what you mean. But why would they not use what the subtitles say?
I don't know.
Because
I literally think that is just a translation thing.
Interesting.
It's what happens in the translation process.
I'm surprised they wouldn't just use the subtitle script for the dub script. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what's but I heard the sub is not great, but I also feel like they probably weren't expecting this show to do as well as it did.
No.
And they probably were dub it, but just get it done.
Not a lot of effort.
You know what I mean? So
Sure.
that I think is probably the culprit in that situation.
I've never watched any Netflix dubbings of real life shows.
No, I haven't either. This is truly the first one.
But
and I was afraid because I guess what, I'm lazy. I don't like reading subtitles because I feel like it distracts me from what's going on screen. I'm trying to read while also watching what's happening. And if it's taking up the entire movie, I usually am not about it.
Do you watch shows with subtitles, in general?
Not usually.
Yeah, who are the freaks who do that?
It depends. Sometimes if the sound mixing is so bad that I have to keep turning, and it happens a lot, I will say, when the action is just loud as fuck and the dialogue is talking like this. ASMR. Literally just try to talk in your lowest voice, and that's what it is. Comparably, it doesn't make any sense, so I have to turn it up. Anywho, Squid Game, it's pretty cool so far. I actually find that the actors are very amazing. I think that they're engaging, and I was saying with the subtitles, it's funny how you can still read subtitles and the delivery still works though, in weird way. Does that make any sense? The guy it still lines up. And you're oh, that still hits even though I have to read what he's saying. It's cool. It's very cool. But otherwise, you might have seen me on Xbox. I started replaying the Arkham games.
I did see that.
I don't know why. If I've got DC fever, I've been just itching to play something I want in open world, and I was like, you know what? I'm jumping back into Arkham because those games are fun.
Have you played those 2 remasters of Asylum and
Yeah,
City?
I played them a couple years ago too. And they're still great games. Oh my god! Like Arkham City is 10 years old.
Yeah, I know.
I did not realize that. Like, and it's just like, I will say the remaster helped. Arkham City still looks great, and I'm assuming, like I said, the remaster helps that in some way and like up some of the resolution and just graphics in certain ways. But it looks great. Arkham Asylum, the faces are kind of funny when they talk. They're very like stilted. They don't look terrible, but like
I think
it's definitely an older game.
There's a generation of like our early to mid Xbox 360, PS3 games where everyone just kind of looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, they do. And it's weird because now like games look like most games, especially AAA games, like even Assassin's Creed, like their faces get so weird. Like some, like Assassin's Creed 2 doesn't look terrible, but then they try to go too realistic and it looks not good in the later games. Now it looks fine.
I mean, fucking Sean, Rebecca, and Desmond
in the new one
look different every single game. It's just like what is going on here?
But
Why
Sean and
their
Rebecca,
models
even in like the real
changing?
world for Valhalla, look terrible. Like they just don't even look. But like then anywho, those games still hold up incredibly well. If you haven't played the Arkham games, God, you should go play them. They're amazing Batman stories on top of just being fun games to play.
I don't know if I'll ever play City or Asylum. I just don't.
Did you never play them?
I just don't really like want to. Isn't that weird?
No, I don't think so.
I
think
just
like
don't really care to do it.
no, that's fair. I don't know. I think they're just they're good Batman stories. I mean, you know, probably most of what happens in those games. I'd assume, correct?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think there's some merit in going back to them and experiencing them. Like, but I know you'd have to get every single fucking Riddler trophy.
Right,
you have to complete every. It's not just going back and playing the story for Gooch. It's going back and completing the whole
There's
game.
a commitment level to it. Yeah, I mean you're 100% right. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just be like, yeah, I'll jump in for 5 minutes.
And
It's
just
like,
play the story.
it's
No,
how I
you're not
play
doing
games.
that.
Yeah.
I understand. But those are really a ton of fun. I started dipping my toe into Back for Blood. I haven't played a ton of it.
I've been playing Back for Blood. A lot of fun. I'm playing a cross-play with some of my cousin, Jazz, who's been on the podcast before. Last of Us 2,
Sure.
Death Stranding. He was on the first ever episode of DNN about Metal Gear. Him and his buddies I've been playing with. That game is made to play co-op, period. I think if you're playing solo, like you're gonna have like a very like
You're not gonna have a good time.
and I mean when I mean co-op, I mean like not just jumping into multiplayer with
Like having a
randos.
squad,
I mean playing with a squad.
Yeah.
Because like they were away, some of them were away this weekend. I think one of their friends had like some sort of maybe not like a bachelor party, but some sort of thing, and they were in the mountains. So we didn't play Friday or Saturday, and I'm like, fuck. Where's my squad, man? I miss my squad.
This is ridiculous. Where the fuck is everyone?
Like I wasn't trying. I was trying to like progress a little bit without them, and I was like, just having a hard time like getting like a solid group of 4 dudes that like hung around for a little bit to
tough.
play, and it was just like,
and that is
yeah.
you're at the mercy of that with those games, and it's funny how those games really kind of have gone the wayside in the way of just like these 4-player online co-op stuff. Like, I mean, we're gonna see that with Gotham Knight, I think, which is interesting. But
yeah,
Gotham Knights.
I'm really enjoying Back for Blood though. From a very like this year is like all about multiplayer games. It's so funny. There's like not one single player like game coming out this fall. Just I mean Guardians, but like nothing like on the level of like a God of War. Like it's all multiplayer stuff this year. So like when we have that game of year conversation, like I don't even remember what came out at the beginning of the year off the top of my head.
Hitman 3 came out this year.
Yeah, that was like one of the first games.
What the fuck? Where are we? I don't know. Like I saw it, I'm like, whoa.
I'm trying to think of like what even came out in the fall. I can't see my games.
I can't
up
really
there.
remember either.
No,
I can't.
Not much.
Not off the top of my head. Really, not a ton. I mean, was Resident Evil this year?
Yeah, Resident Evil.
Of course,
8,
yeah, Resident Evil 8,
Yeah.
and then
See, this is a very.
I feel like there's one more that I just can't remember.
We're in that in between year.
We are.
Speaking of games, I finished Life is Strange: True Colors, which was very enjoyable. Much better than the Life is Strange 2 game. Much more in line with the quality of the first one, the original, and the prequel Before the Storm. Life is Strange 2, I just doesn't hit with me, but True Colors was a good romp.
I'm glad you. Yeah,
for a game that was originally like in that episodic format, I feel shorter, but I feel like it's still
Is that the one that
better.
was taken over midway by a different studio?
No. So Life is Strange is developed by Deck 9, which is the spin-offs, and then
Okay.
Don't Nod, which did 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I
What
think it speaks volumes when the spin-off studio
Does better. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Telltale, do they still exist?
Yes.
So were they bought out and like saved? What like
Yes.
I can't remember. I kind of forgot about
it's
the
been
whole.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody bought them out and bought the
So
name.
now they're still selling. They're still making these games,
I think the next thing we have on the docket is Wolf Among Us,
which I
too.
will absolutely get.
I think they're really taking their time because
which is great.
like we know it's coming and
That
I don't want to see it until like we get a date.
I think that might be my favorite Telltale game.
Yeah, I think
I
I think a lot of people
I don't
it's
know
Walking
why.
Dead season
Yeah.
1 or Wolf Among Us.
I will say one other thing I have been playing that I got to give them some credit. No Man's Sky. I tried the new update. They put in a
You
bunch of new
always are
stuff.
jumping back into that.
Because I keep hearing that I'm like surprised at how much they keep updating it. And they put out like a pretty big one with like now there's settlements and stuff on worlds. Like I was flying around the other day and this fucking gigantic space worm comes out of the ground and like it's really cool.
The Dune game.
The Dune game. But there's all these different animals and stuff in it. It's not like a crazy objective based game, but god damn it, give No Man's Sky a shot. Especially if you have Game Pass. I'm pretty confident it's free on there. It's so much fun. But Gooch, what else have you been playing?
I have Halo Infinite Flights on here, and we talk our Re3 episode where we talk about it isn't there, but we both did play the flights and we both did have fun. So if you want to hear about that, I
Check
think
that
the
out.
Reach episodes we talk about it, that should be out like within the weekish. So by the time you're listening to this, if you're interested in hearing on Halo Infinite Flight talk, you can hear it in there. But
there.
Dead Space 2 is the last game I have kind of started, and I gotta admit, I am not feeling it. There's something about Dead Space 2, and I'm like, I feel like
Is
I'm
it
playing.
something you can point out?
I feel like I'm playing BioShock.
Why is that?
It's residential. I feel like I'm underground, but I feel like I'm underwater, but I'm in space. Like just the way the environments look,
Interesting.
remind me of BioShock and being in Rapture.
Okay.
Because of just the way the environments are laid out, and you're on Titan, which is like Saturn's moon colony, and yeah, you're in like a city, but like it's not really city-ish, but there are some like residential areas and a church, and I'm like, there's something that just feels so BioShock.
So
about
you're
this
not on.
that I'm just
are you
not
on?
loving.
Are you on you're on like a planetoid? Like you're on a moon? You're saying? Or what are you
You're
on?
on like a moon colony thing.
Is it in
Have
space
you played
still?
Dead Space 2?
I feel like I started. I
been a
don't really
while.
remember much.
I just like you go back on the Ishimura,
Yeah.
which I was like kind of hype about because it looks like it's like exactly how it looked in the original, and I'm like towards the end, I'm like right after the Ishimura part, and I think the first one is just hits better, not even beating it yet. Like I don't really like how Isaac talks. Now.
Oh, he talks.
Yeah,
I really
And you
don't
see
remember
his
Dead
face.
Space 2.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think the weapons are as good, or the new additions just don't feel like they add anything.
Add much.
And I always heard that like Dead Space 2 was better than 1, and
It's
then
not doing it
3
for
is
you, huh?
like the real black sheep. And I'm actually excited to play the games I hear shitty things about.
Sure.
Like I really want to go through Dead Space 3 with somebody because it is a co-op game, and it's been long enough that like, and you know I feel like when those games represent co-op like that, I feel like that's how they're meant to be played. So
No, I
like,
hear what
when
you
I
mean.
go through it, I want to play. But yeah, I don't know if I'd say play through Dead Space 2, but you know, maybe
I should.
since the remaster's coming out, play through
I
the
have
series
been
again.
looking. I have been looking for some spooky games right now. I was. You
Yeah,
know what's
that is
funny?
my part of my
I apparently
Halloween.
don't own Outlast 1 anywhere. And
Where'd you play it?
I don't remember. I thought like, did I play it on the computer? I don't think my computer could have run it. I must have got like because it's a free game on PSN, so that's must have been where I got it.
I
again.
played it on
but I
Xbox.
thought I had played it before that.
You have the
before
second
PS4.
one?
Yeah, I own
It's on
that on.
Xbox.
It's on. I
Yeah.
own that one on Xbox.
You
and I
reviewed
was
that
like,
way back in the day with Joey.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Wow, that's jeez.
That was a
we've been
while
around.
ago.
We've been around that long. That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been looking for a spooky game. Maybe I'll jump back in. I own them for some, or maybe they're part of Game Pass or something.
Yeah, I'm playing on Xbox backwards compatibility. The game looks good for the most part. just like the first one did. And then the last thing I have 3 more things on my what am I doing? I finished Love, Death and Robots, which honestly, just to briefly sum up, is like okay. I think it's like it's Black Mirror-ish, like with the
shorter episodes, right?
One episode is like its own thing, and I'm kind of just like, am I gonna like Black Mirror? Because for some reason I wasn't like fully into Love, Death and Robots. I enjoyed it, but like there was something about it that just like didn't. Like, I took a long break, and there was something about it that just, like, didn't, like, I just couldn't.
Yeah, I feel like when you get, like, what is the word I'm thinking of? And not analogy. Different stories. Like when they make a series, but they're not related.
Right. I don't know.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. I don't know if there's a term for that.
There is, and I can't remember. And like anthology, an anthology. That's the fucking word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But like those can be very hit or miss. Like what I started watching. Actually, I totally forgot about too. Blomkamp's short films that he put
on YouTube.
They're on Netflix now.
Oh, are
which
they?
is interesting. I guess they must be the same ones. It has like Sigourney Weaver and stuff in them.
Yeah, his Under Oates studio.
There was there's some interesting stuff there, but I found myself kind of just like not being incredibly engaged because they're just giving us kind of a slice of what this world is and like what's going on in this
you're in
universe. Very much so. So I think those are tough to very much nail. Like I think Black Mirror does it in the way of they have very compelling single arc stories, and I've only seen a few episodes of Black Mirror, but I've thoroughly enjoyed them. But it's nice to know that I don't have to go through and just watch them all because they're not really connected in any way. But hit or miss for sure.
I recently got like $170 worth of comics. So I bought some Injustice stuff. I bought the second compendium of Invincible. I bought the 80th anniversary Green Arrow comic.
Love it.
And then some more Green Arrow Rebirth stuff. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Is that it? Injustice, Rebirth, 80th anniversary thing. Invincible. Yeah. This shop in Berwyn, Pennsylvania called Showcase Comics. I actually really like their selection. Uncanny, just like over the years, like every time I go there, they just don't have anything.
Well, I think
they don't have a good selection ever, and I think it has to do with the fact that they're in the mall.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's just because it's such a busy spot
area,
and like that's if you're gonna get like that's probably one of the most well-known comic book shops. Like I assume in that area, and you just have passerbys going in there too.
Sure.
But,
yeah. And then the last thing, very unrelated. I shot some guns last week on our my family's annual Man's Weekend. And it's the second time I ever shot guns. And the only thing I wanted to say is shooting a bolt action rifle is like sex. It is truly like as you would imagine.
You hear the cling
like to pull that bolt back and like do the whole motion, it feels so cool. And I
love it.
So when I was doing it once, like I guess I was like maybe like going too slow or not going hard enough, so I had to like do it harder. And like the guy I was like, don't be afraid to just do it. And then the second time I like really put all my force into it, and I was like, oh man. But
I could take a life. Whoa.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
That's
because
cool.
It was like
that sounds like a lot of fun. It looked like a lot of fun. Trip looked like a good time.
Yeah. I always enjoy that weekend. We don't shoot guns every time, but this was the several years we've been doing it. This is the second time we've ever shot guns. It's this range called Sunset Hill Shooting Range in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. So if you're from the area and you I don't know, guys weekend, or if you're up there for a bachelor party and you want to shoot at a range, this range has like a Vector and a fully automatic saw and a P90. Like they have a lot of interesting weapons to shoot and stuff.
I
and
might have to check that out. Yeah.
And the instructors there, they load the gun, they do everything, they put it in your hand, they show you how to shoot, they position your hands right, they're there for you, they do a really good job, especially for people who are kind of like uncomfortable with shooting a gun. Or
absolutely,
like,
who have never done it again.
They don't just like put the gun on the table in front of you.
Figure it out, and they're like, figure it out,
right?
Bitch.
Yeah. It was interesting going there, and like there are tons of different groups of people there, like people who brought their own guns, a bachelor party, like
that makes total sense. Yeah.
A bunch of girls were there, like obviously girls can shoot guns, but
no,
like,
they can't. Girls cannot shoot guns, Gooch. God.
I'm like, I'm like, this is a very interesting group of women like at this range right now. Yeah, like all sort of like families, like just mixed groups of people. It was pretty interesting to see.
Oh, that's
who was
awesome.
in this place. But
I remember only
very
time
cool.
I've shot, like I went skeet shooting one time.
I skeet shot.
That was a lot of fun.
It was the
a lot
shotgun,
easier than I would have thought.
Yeah, that shotgun. Those shotguns are like not difficult to fire. I feel.
No, they aren't. They're
but,
more
like,
manageable for sure.
hitting the disc is another thing.
Satisfying.
I hit it once.
You only hit a what? I remember I was like surprised that I was like going off for some reason. I
mean, this
once
was
the guy showed,
it
like,
was literally the last thing we did.
Did you have like an instructor with you? I assume.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why the guy like pointed out something to me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like he's like, just do this, and then I started like basically and
I was asking because I was talking to him because I was like, okay, like what was I doing wrong? And he was like, you were kind of waiting a little long. Like as soon as you see it, like
you should be ahead
fire.
of it. Yeah,
right.
fire. Yep.
Yeah, like the way he did it was like pro. But anyway. Wow, that line sure wasn't as long as I thought. We're in the dome now, boys.
In this nice CGI green screened area.
So let's go through the news. We're not going to go through everything. There really wasn't a lot of stuff.
I didn't think there was. I wasn't really
thrown out.
expecting.
It was about a 4-hour event, a little different from the way they did it last time.
I definitely should have shortened it down.
I think last time it was like over like 2 or 3 days, wasn't it?
I think you might be right.
And it was a lot more like panel stuff. There was a lot more going on.
Absolutely.
This was shorter, still long, about 3 hours and 45 minutes of pretty much kind of like trailers, somewhat short panels.
Some of the panels were actually
comic
fun
book
to watch.
news and some other stuff. But yeah, we're not gonna go over everything. Like there's a Supergirl panel, and they didn't really reveal anything. They
No.
were just talking about that's it. The show's in its last season. They were talking about stuff.
It's fun. I will say I would if I wasn't just cleaning up around the house and doing like a ton
Yeah,
of
I
laundry
had it
yesterday
on
and
and I was
stuff.
playing
I would
games.
have probably been watching.
I
this,
was
yeah.
surprised you watched the whole thing. I was like, he's watching this? I was like, wow. I was like, he must either be doing something else or like, yeah, I was just like, I had it on and like, when they were doing the panel, I was like playing Mass Effect or,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way to watch those things. And that's why I was like, I don't want to come over and sit around with Trio to watch
No, that
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
I'll just do it from my house and like relax.
I get it. You
It's
don't
like
like me. It's
yeah,
fine.
I fucking hate you. Anyway, speaking of hatred, Black Adam was our first thing to kick
They
off.
did start off strong here.
Yeah, I
gotta give
mean,
'em-
come on. We got our first look of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the titular Black Adam, and boy, we know he's ready to play this role. He's ready to finish this movie. He's ready for us to watch it, and he's ready for us to be what does he
In
like to
awe.
say? The hierarchy of the DC universe is
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe and shit.
I hope he thought of that.
I feel like he
really
probably
do.
I feel like he's really thought, like, he does really seem to care about, like, deeply about this character, and he seems to, like, I mean, this has been a development. When was he announced as Black Adam?
Shortly after
In,
Man
like,
of Steel.
2000, like,
Shortly after Man
9,
of Steel came out.
right? Like, or something like that. Like, it
Yeah.
was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And-
So what did you think of the edited? It wasn't really it was
It
a
was
very
a
like,
teaser.
teaser trailer.
It was a mood
sneak-
setter, I would
Yeah.
say.
What did you think?
Fucking awesome. I really did. Like, I think, like, it really shows off. Do you think they're going R? Like, that was a
Good
pretty
question.
graphic kill that he kind of fucking showed.
I would hope so.
I would kind of hope so too.
I don't know.
but
I don't know if I can say confidently yes or no to that, but I think I want it to be R.
I'm kind of. I mean, I guess since it's kind of fantastical,
DC's no stranger to doing it.
maybe
so.
they could have gotten away with that kill in a PG-13 movie. But like, yeah. So I mean, it starts off. These guys walk in what seems like present day, into
Yeah, so
like a
it seems
tomb.
like they're in the Kondak ruins. They
Yeah.
have to be. You know what it reminded me of? The beginning of AVP when they first enter the temple. And it's like all dark.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of circular. That's what it reminded me
Yeah.
of. And, they're scientists and stuff. And it looks like Black Adam has probably been sealed away by
somehow by Shazam. I assume the wizard.
No, not Shazam. The wizard. What's the wizard's name?
Shazam.
Oh yeah, he was Shazam.
It's so one thing I will gotta say they have to figure out about this whole Shazam name thing. He can't tell anyone his name is Shazam, because if that's the word that I guess he has to say it.
No,
But then they know that that's his
yeah, he
word
does.
to say to change into Captain Marvel.
That's what they say to summon him, right?
Yeah,
Someone says Shazam,
Shazam. So like that's exactly. So like
and he like fucking does.
he does his Shazam, and even Black Adam. He was endowed with this special ability. But anyways, we're back in the trailer. They discover this tomb, and this woman starts saying stuff, and then she goes Shazam, and all of a sudden you got fucking Dwayne in a nice black cloak. Textures just on his suit and on the cloak itself looked awesome.
I like how the chest is very like cloth practical, but like his arms and his pants and his boots seem to be more armory.
Yeah, no, and I think like what I gotta say, he
combo.
said he's like there's barely like I think there's some stuff on the suit that kind of adds some accentuation,
definition,
but for the most part, that's all him.
We all know that's all.
Yeah,
Rock.
like
we don't
like,
even need to
even
say
the
that.
way,
Come
but
on.
no, but even the way like it like.
Are you
it
doubting
is a
Dwayne?
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. Like I saw people
Dwayne!
saying like when they when like the
What
suit,
did Trio say?
the suit got leaked, like and it was kind of hanging up. They were like, it looks like there's muscles on that. I'm like, I don't think there is. It literally
Honestly,
looks like
it's probably designed to take his muscles into account.
exactly. That's what I mean. It's exactly.
It needs
It's
to be.
shaped. It's shaped out
to
to
him.
his muscles. So like. I mean, I will say he said we haven't seen like a superhero suit like this or anything, and I really don't think we have. Like in the way of like texturing and the way it literally is form fitting to just his body.
What heroes have hoods?
I mean, Shazam had one, the first one that you barely used.
I'm talking about in movies, not in concept or anything.
Not a ton.
None, I think. Green Arrow.
Green Arrow, yeah. And
Green
I mean,
Arrow has a hood.
like
Is that
I
it?
will say, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure.
But it really reminds me of like that classic Black Adam costume that he literally just like when he's out of the cloak, which I assume he will be a bit. I feel like that's kind of going to be his like intro shot, and he might.
See,
ditch
I
the
would I wouldn't mind the cloak.
Oh,
but
I wouldn't mind it.
obviously,
I
like,
think he should
the hood
keep it.
being down is probably going to
Would
be
would be what
more
it
of
is.
the
Yeah,
thing. He'll come out with the hood on and maybe wear it once or twice.
absolutely.
But like, it'll be down. Most
It's
of the time.
definitely it's going to be for some
It's
cool
the Rock.
looks.
You
Yeah.
need to see the Rock's face, you know. But yeah,
I mean, and then he lights that dude up with lightning.
yeah, he kills those fucking people. Takes those bullets, grabs some. Very Superman-esque kind of vibe from that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, he fucks these dudes up, and he turns one into a skeleton, and it's just like
Just holds him by the neck and just
I think
electrocutes
when
him
you
to
said
fucking.
tone setter, I think you're.
It really
you're
is.
spot
Like
on.
I'm like, this is where we're at. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff was cool. We got to look at the symbols of the different people. We got a kind of glimpse at Dr. Fate's helmet, but we didn't get a great look. Like you said, Pierce Brosnan's back. He looks fucking amazing. I think he's gonna
this
kill
is
in that role.
Like as you guys know, as a Bond fan, No Time to Die review up right now for you to go check out. Pierce Brosnan was the Bond that. My first Bond, so seeing him kind of come back and like he's been in movies and stuff before. Don't
Sure,
get me
but this is
wrong,
more
or
mainstream
after
stuff.
Bond, but like he's making his first like big mainstream reappearance since Die Another Day in 2002. So this is, and he even mentioned it. Like he's like, I worked on Bond, but this was like.
It
it's
is
something
cool
I've
seeing
never
a lot
done
of the
before.
practical sets they're using too. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff looks awesome. I mean, I'm very curious as to when this takes place mostly. Is it mostly present day?
I would say from what we've seen, it's present day. I mean, we're JSA usually isn't a present day thing.
That's what because I thought it was going to be
Adam
like
Smasher, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and Hawkman are our JSA members in
Yeah.
this movie that we know about. They're doing the JSA in Stargirl, and it's a modern day, but they still look like they're from the 40s.
That's true.
Like-
So I guess you could just kind of take that like golden age era and make it current, which I think would be cool, and that would I think also put this in a different universe than what else we've seen. If it is present day and it's going up against Dr. Fate and like Adam Smasher and all these people, like why wouldn't Superman be around for that fight? You know, like that would be a bit of a like rough sell.
And that, I guess that's a bigger question, right? How does this fit into the DCEU?
My assumption is that it is not in like the mainstream,
I would have to agree with you.
just with what we're
unfortunately.
seeing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
There's no way it's like, yeah, guess what? Dr. Fate, Adam Smasher, Cyclone, and
think they're gonna do the
Hawkman.
20 years?
for Hawkman?
No, for Black Adam.
No.
Give him elf ears. No, I'm kidding. He does have
Yeah.
elf ears for some reason in the comic books a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Which I don't really understand
Yeah,
why.
I don't think they
that's
will.
like a conduct thing.
Maybe
yeah,
Dwayne
man.
will be like, where are my fucking ears?
Where are my ears at, guys? Overall, I am pumped.
2022, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I think we got a date, but I don't forget off the top.
Yeah.
Actually, I have it up right here. July 29th, 2022.
Boom. I can't wait.
Next up, we got a glimpse of something Trio probably has been.
I feel like I've been
hoping
talking about it for a while, yeah.
For a while. The Flash TV show, The Flash's new costume for next season. We're getting the boots. Trio.
Dude.
How do you feel?
I mean, I said this in the Discord, that costume just all together is mwah, it's chef's kiss. You can't beat it. It looks amazing. It looks like it's actually like something he would wear. It looks comfortable. It's it's got the right textures where it needs it, and god damn it, it's great. But I will say it's kind of funny when a show gets down to the boots being a big deal, and that's what we're announcing at Fandome. You know what I mean? I get it as like a comic nod and stuff like that.
You know, because of COVID, all those CW shows kind of like
got fucked.
Their productions got real fucked.
Yeah,
especially the Flash, as it seems. So I don't know where they are in filming that.
Yeah.
I know I follow Candace Patton on Twitter. Shout out to her. She did a lot.
She hosted this basically. It felt like almost.
Yeah, she sort of did like the in between like little news segments, which was pretty cool, and she did a good job. But she she got back to set recently, so they're
not ahead by any
I don't
means,
think we're gonna see that show until February.
By the way, Grant did not look a lot of these people.
No, he did not.
Like a lot of these people did
there.
not look enthused.
Grant's feeling it just like Stephen Amell was.
And even like, Candace, like she was like kind of like, and this, like it just felt very weird and stilted at times.
I mean, they're getting paid.
No, I know, but like, I don't know.
I
seemed like you kind of want to be there.
I can agree with Grant Gustin. He did not.
He did not look good. Like I don't know what it was. Like,
well, dude, I think I based on what I've heard from from listening to those vets from the CW shows talk, they just get tired of it.
Yeah, I know. Why are you sticking around for 8 seasons?
I think Flash will have one more season after this. Well, here's the thing: we haven't gotten an announcement about the Flash's next season. Maybe they just haven't announced that this is the last season. But then again, how the fuck are Legends and Batwoman?
Well, because I think it's funny. I think Legends, those people just have they're getting a steady paycheck and they have fun on set. And I feel like they just like they're like, listen, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as they'll pay me. And I think Grant's doing that to a degree. I haven't heard
Katie Lotz.
Like she never seems to complain, or like she really.
She's also the lead on the show.
That's what I mean. So like she seems to be like fine, like so, which is funny that that's still going. I will like I forget that it is.
But they have they found
their formula. And listen, people who will like it like it.
Give them credit for that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the gold boots look cool.
They look awesome, dude. That costume's so good. I can't reiterate it enough.
One thing I said in Discord, I was like, that Flash suit has fucking came so far.
Well, apparently
so many
in the beginning,
iterations. Like there have been like 7. How many seasons are we on? 7 suits. There have been 7 suits.
Well, I still remember
every season they got an upgrade.
Or then they went like kind of a lateral move for something. Like I remember there was the one suit that looked just way, but not the no chin one. That one looked so dumb. But
I just like kind of just
and like
just chalked it up.
It's just like it just was so bulky and it just didn't look right. Anyways, I think they were trying to make it easier on Gustin, which I get, like because to put on that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The first suit they literally had to like glue down to his face.
I'm sure Grant has a lot of input on. I'm not comfortable in this. We need to do something.
Well, and even just how far I feel like the superhero costumes in general have come.
John
over
Wesley
these past
Shipp
couple
was
years.
talking about he hated doing the Flash. For the sole reason of the suit was just so uncomfortable.
Look, I can't imagine.
He enjoyed it, but like he was like, dude, get me out.
And
of
I will
suit.
say, it looked not terrible for the time. That Flash suit. It's weird that it's this weird felt kind of like.
Whatever
I don't even.
Fuck.
Yeah, whatever's happening. But I will say, when they brought him back in the new one, when he came back for like that split second and he sacrificed himself in Crisis, it looked really good. I love the way it ended up coming out. But yeah, that's it for now. What are we up to next?
So it's not on here, but I know it was before this. The Aquaman like animated show.
Oh yeah,
which I think is out.
I started it. I forgot to mention that what I've been reading. I forgot. It's fun. It's weird. It's definitely like
it's like Super Jail. I don't know if you know that Adult Swim show.
No, not really.
Super Jail, like, is it The Amazing World of Gumball?
It feels like an Adult Swim cartoon.
And like Chowder.
Yeah.
Like mixed into like, and I'm like, I kind of like the way it looks. It's like very like I like the way the faces like emote.
It's very distinct.
Yeah, I'm like I kind of like it. I'm like I'm looking forward to actually like jumping into it at some point. I'm so behind on everything. Ugh, like Titans.
Dude, I want to watch Justice Society so bad. That's like on my list for sure. But yeah, Titans I need to catch up on as well. What's up next?
So what was next was the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom behind the scenes stuff.
I'm excited. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good.
One thing I'll say, I like how that James Wan is back. One, because I mean Aquaman made a lot of money. That's on the record.
And I think we could say it's a good movie. At least
it's made the most money out of any DC film. They said that in the thing. It's due out December 16th, 2022. So we're still a bit off, but I like how they're bringing James Wan back and they're following up with like, you know, I'm not gonna say he's like a visionary or anything, but like
No.
they're doing,
They're sticking to his vision.
right.
Yes.
They're not getting a different director in there to kind of like make things different. I don't really know how I feel about this in general. I liked Aquaman. Don't get me wrong, but like Aquaman is like I just was like, all right, sure. Let's wait to see the trailer to get hype about anything. Orm's back. We don't really know anything about this movie. The
Black
villain
Manta's back.
We know we're getting like a stealth suit for Aquaman, and Black Manta's suit though. Oh my god, it looks great.
Give me the silly fucking
They
helmet.
got rid of the
I love it.
armor and they went more for the
So
form
like
factor.
no, it looks, and I will like, how do you? Yeah, Abdul Mateen, I think is his name.
know.
I can't remember. He's an amazing actor and he's fit as fuck. So it seems like they have again some accentuations, but like I like how it's that it works, and the silver helmet and the silver collar. I never thought, if you told me Trio in 5 years ago, we're gonna see Aquaman and Black Manta with his gigantic silly helmet. And I would have been like, I don't
think
really
it's as
believe
silly
it.
as you make it out
It's
to be.
so silly. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
Yeah, it does. It's how
and I
he's
love,
drawn.
no, I know. But that's what I love about it. It's so impractical that like it's just great that it actually. I don't know. I love it. I'm excited. I really enjoyed the first Aquaman. I don't think it's
Yeah,
anything like
I'm-
monumental.
What do you?
But
do you have any thoughts about what do you think it's going to be about? I mean, is the Lost Kingdom?
So the Lost
Trench?
Kingdom, I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel
what
like
is
they
the Lost
mentioned the
Kingdom,
seven. They mentioned the seven like kingdoms of the sea in the last one. It was like, and I think they said one was lost, if I remember correctly, and then the trench went mad or whatever. So
The Trench movie, guys, get ready for it.
no, that's already been canceled. So don't worry about it. But I still don't know what the fuck was happening there. Anywho, I'm very as someone who thoroughly enjoyed the first one, and I think they committed to Aquaman's campiness while making it a fun and like action packed.
Less Pitbull
Like,
this time, James. Less Pitbull.
Give me more Pitbull. I want it all. Every song Pitbull.
Next up, we have the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League trailer. No gameplay. We just kind of got more cinematic stuff. We got to see the Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman. No Batman, which is interesting. So I think obviously Batman.
Well, Batman's dead, or he's gone. This is set in the Arkham universe.
It is.
Yeah. This is the one that continues.
This is the
this
Arkham
is the one that
universe.
continues after Night, whereas Gotham Knights is
Right.
just like
Sorry, guys. Batman's dead.
Yeah. Well, so we don't see. Doesn't he just go in the Wayne Manor and it explodes at the end of Arkham Knight? Like we don't
dies.
see.
He
No.
definitely dies.
I don't think he kills himself though. I think he went dark. Is my assumption. I think Batman's showing up in this game. I think Bruce
Okay.
Wayne is going to show up and be like, because you know what? So it's Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. You know who knows how to kill all the Justice League? Batman. So like, I'm thinking
Yeah.
they are going to have to get Batman's backup protocols somehow, and that's going to involve this or something.
That's actually a really good.
Like, you know, like I think
Yes.
that would make the most sense. I mean, dude, so this was all cinematic, but I think all these cinematics are in engine. I think that's how like the actual, because that's how Arkham Knight is.
The cinematics look good.
They look
I
awesome.
mean, again, this game is supposed to be like a games as a service.
No, I don't. I think it's just supposed to be a co-op game. I thought
I thought
it might be. I don't know actually.
I thought it was.
I
think,
knew it was
think
co-op.
Gotham Knights is maybe I'm confusing it with Gotham Knights.
I thought they were just co-op games.
No, there's something weird about the model of I think both of them.
I thought, but I keep Arkham Knight. I thought was like very like it's. I'm sorry, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. It seems is very narrative driven. Like that's what it's like. That's so I don't think like I think you're gonna go.
I don't remember.
Also, I don't think from the trailer Wonder Woman is bad yet. It looked like she was fighting Superman, and she was like trying to. So I think she's gonna be kind of helping the
It
Suicide
looks
Squad.
like Brainiac,
No, so I think Brainiac is he seems to be the bad guy, and he seems to have taken control of all
which
the
is kind
Justice
of
League.
lame because we like kind of just not just had Brainiac and Injustice 2, but you know, more recent.
Sure, I do think it's a different enough way of approaching him though. Like as the idea of like he's mind controlled the Justice League, and Superman looks. I paused on his suit. It looks really cool. All the
He
Justice
looks
League.
very classic.
He does,
Superman.
and I mean, he's got like it looks like he has like kind of what they did in Man of Steel, like Kryptonian on his suit or something. There's like some very like it almost looks like a language written on his suit, but he
Wait,
looks
they did
really
that
cool.
in Injustice?
No, in in the Suicide Squad game. In the
No, right. But you're saying like they did in.
I'm sorry, like they did in Man of Steel.
Oh, Is that what that is? Sorry.
So there's like, I remember watching behind the scenes. They put like there is like Kryptonian inscription on his.
I didn't know it was
suit.
Kryptonian inscription.
I don't think it's all over it.
Chainmail.
There is chainmail mostly, but there is some like interwoven. I think in places.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But dude, I think this looks awesome. It looks a lot. The first trailer I didn't love because it felt very over. What's the old Xbox? What's the Xbox game? Overdrive. Fuck, not Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive?
Sunset Overdrive. It felt very that-ish to me. But this one, I think the comedy rang through. I think the tone of what's going on. I think there's going to have to be some plot armor of some kind. Obviously, they're facing the Flash, who literally can move at the speed of sound. So,
The Flash looks fucking
he looks awesome. He looks like...
he looks really... And his armor, like his helmet.
He looks like fucking... what's his name? The guy from the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking? The speed guy from that. He kind of looks almost. He's got like the goggles. I think he looks.
Speed dude from that one.
You know what I'm talking about? But
yeah.
I think he looks great, dude. John Stewart, Green Lantern. His suit looks like almost like made of like the
we
way.
got like one glimpse of him right?
For like he's like walking down, but like I was looking into it because I obviously love Green Lantern, but like the way they did his suit, it looks like he's wearing glass.
That game's gonna be very cool to play because it's so different, right? Like we're going up against the people we normally would be playing.
But it's interesting even in the fact of like we played in the Arkham Knight universe as Batman, and like we've had these subtle.
I totally forgot that was an Arkham Knight. I keep forgetting Gotham Knights isn't, but in my head it is.
Yeah, and like, they seem to be basically like, listen, it is, but it isn't. But like you get all these kind of nods in the last games, and you'd hear about certain things. But like now we are fully kind of getting to explore the greater like DC Arkham universe and like see what Wonder Woman looks really cool. I gotta say, she almost looks more like 30s style, like with her like she's got like the bun and like the big tiara. It looks awesome.
She reminded me of the like the quick glimpse. I gotta rewatch the trailer.
Yeah, I've rewatched
but
it a few times.
the way she looked like kind of reminded me of War.
The
way she looks in the new the Rosario Dawson voice acted Wonder Woman in the newer stuff with like the leggings. But again, that was what I like remembered. I remember like a form factor to her body, and I was just like, yeah, something about that. Like instantly, I'm like, oh, like the new those new animated movies that some are good.
I know what you mean.
Bad. Yeah.
So last question on this before we move on. We've seen Flash, Green Lantern, Superman, and Wonder Woman. That means we got 3 more Justice League members. I think at least.
You think we have to have 7?
I feel like we should. If we're saying we kill the Justice League, we see 7 at least.
Okay.
So I'm thinking Aquaman shows up, and I'm thinking maybe Cyborg or
I hope we don't get Cyborg. I would
maybe Martian Manhunter, but he's too Superman-y. That's the only issue I see with that.
I would like to see Black Canary and Green Arrow.
I think
that would actually be cool. Green Arrow.
I'm trying to think of like like the main league members have been usually like the set, like you got Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman's usually pretty mainstay, Flash's mainstay, Green Lantern's mainstay, and then that 7th one seems to be the one that usually kind of swaps.
They're not
going
to do Shazam.
I think, and I think also Martian Manhunter is too tough. I don't think that works narratively, and then I don't know, Cyborg might work. But yeah, because I feel like he's become one of the mainstays of the Justice League in the past like 5 years. So I agree with you though. I don't necessarily want it to be him, but I think it could be Cyborg. I think it's Cyborg and Aquaman. But we'll see.
Real quick before we get to the next one, wasn't Flula Borg really entertaining?
He's always he's great.
I feel like they gave him a script and he's like, I'll just improv.
He came in for probably 2 reasons. They're like, do you want to just read like 3 more things? Like
he's like, okay, I'm on the like what is he like?
He's German, yeah. I don't know why he talks like this.
So he's a comedian?
Yeah.
Why have I never heard?
He's
of
on
this
Conan
guy?
all the time, and I would always see him there, and I found him really
hilarious.
funny. And then I
would watch his stand up.
Dude, he's good. He's really funny.
I like just how he talks.
Absolutely.
But next up, speaking of Flula Borg as Javelin in the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. We got our first glimpse of the Peacemaker series on HBO, obviously starring John Cena, which will kick off on HBO Max on January 13th, 2022. What did you think, Trio?
It was surprisingly engaging. I was not expecting to enjoy the trailer as much as I did. They seem to be having a lot of fun with his character, and James Gunn seems to really be like careful and caring in what he is doing with the show, and WB seems to really just not give a shit about what he's doing and just give him money, which I think it can be good and which can be bad. Like, I mean, he talks about at one point in this, he's like, yeah, I was shooting a scene and I literally couldn't believe that Warner Brothers is letting me shoot the scene. And I'm like, that like makes me interested because I think he knows
makes
where.
Me go, why didn't you believe in Zach?
Because I don't like. I think the unfortunate thing is, Gooch, with those movies, they are divisive. At the end of the day, it's divisive.
you just sat me down.
It's divisive.
It's like put your hand on my shoulder.
I like him. I love him even.
All right,
but
back to Peacemaker.
No, I think they trust James Gunn, and I think James Gunn is one of those directors that you can give full reign to, and he does know where to pull back.
I feel like it's a little much calling him an auteur.
I would go that far.
I don't think he deserves that just yet. But I think he has a visionary kind of
I
style
think when you're
to his
watching
directing.
a James Gunn movie, you know it's a James Gunn movie, and that makes him
I would
an auteur.
like to see him do non-comic book movies soon.
No, sure.
I would like, we're getting another Guardians movie. They're casting people and getting shit together, so that'll probably be in production within like at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just.
And then you got the Guardians Christmas special.
All right, I'll see you. Just fuck off with that. Yeah, I would like to see James Gunn now that he has this a good notoriety. We're totally off topic from Peacemaker, but I guess Peacemaker is kind of different. Like he's doing a show, but I would like to see him do more out there things that don't have anything to do with comics to see more of his style because I
Sure.
don't really watch. I've never.
I mean,
really
you could probably
watched
go
those
watch
older,
back of his older some of his older movies.
Slither and all the shit with Rooker. I wonder if Rooker's gonna be. No, he's dead. He can't be.
Unless a flashback or something
Rooker's
happens.
in everything he does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he can't be in Guardians 3 either. Wow. Unless he's in a flashback.
Yeah, I think, but Peacemaker itself,
Yeah, going back to Peacemaker.
I found it. I'm excited.
I'm
more excited than
to
I was.
see, I think Vigilante is a cool add-on for that.
I think so too.
I mean, the last time we saw Vigilante was in Arrow.
Does he show up in Arrow?
Yeah.
I can't
for a
remember. I forgot
while.
that.
Dude, I remember when they first showed him off and he was fucking around with he would show up to the same things the Team Arrow was.
Yeah.
And he would show up and the season ended where he was in and they just totally didn't mention anything about him. They kept his identity hidden for so long on that show.
Wow, he really does. That's interesting. I totally he doesn't. I guess he does kind of look like that.
Yeah, that's how he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to see Adrian Chase is usually the vigilante. In Arrow, he wasn't. He was Prometheus instead. So it's going to be cool to kind of see a different interpretation of vigilante. And
Yeah, and
looks cool.
it looks awesome. I think it's so simple yet just so great looking. I love the red visor, and I think it's going to be a silly, fun show with some interesting.
Robert Patrick is in it. The T-1000 is
Yeah.
his dad, and then the eagle hugs him.
That part was that's kind of what locked me in when he got hugged by the eagle. And I got to give John Cena credit. He is charismatic as fuck, and he is fun to watch for sure. What do we got next?
I didn't talk this over with you, but I want to talk about it.
Okay.
The Superman thing.
Oh yeah.
With Jim Lee coming out and kind of making the announcement that the Superman motto, truth, justice, and the American way is changing from truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And it kind of, me and Trio kind of rolled our eyes because it's a very political.
Listen, I will say
it's
this.
a very political thing to announce it.
But it's just
not that they're changing it. The way they announced it was they're
updating
clearly trying to buy some political points.
Listen,
here.
what happened in a meeting? Someone went, "Wait, isn't Superman's motto truth, justice, and the American way?" And Jim Lee was probably like, "Oh yeah, it I forgot. It is. Yeah, I forgot." And someone's like, "That's very
right
because
it isn't that motto is used as an Easter egg more than it is as a
you
thing
see it all the time.
Superman
Truthfully,
says.
well, it's funny because when they announced it and they were like truth, justice, and better, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I had forgot it was even the American way. And listen, America's great and it's the best, so that's why I'm pissed. No, I'm kidding. But what really is just the funny thing here is them changing it will cause more attention, more ire. I feel than even just talking. How many people even remember that this was a thing?
Is it? It's from the comics, right?
I'm
it's
assuming
not, it's
that,
not
and
from
that's the other
George
thing.
Reeves. Wait, no.
George Reeves. No,
Christopher.
Reeves.
It's not from Christopher Reeves.
You know, I
Superman,
don't.
because he says it in that movie.
So
and I feel
don't
like
know.
that's where people,
That
started
could
saying
be it. I'm curious if it was like a motto created by Joel Schuster, like the Schuster brothers and stuff like that, who created Superman. If it was created by them and they changed it, that does piss me off more. But if it was kind of
that
like,
is actually real interesting.
like if this was created, if that was like created by the original creators, that does make me annoyed and make me. I'm not sitting here getting all bent out of shape about it like it's the end of the world.
So here's my take on it. I think the change makes sense, but I think the way they announced it was just
it's like it was
taking
just, like,
such a
weird.
political stance on the fact that as America, we've had a weird few years with Donald Trump being president and the election and COVID. It's been a weird time to be an American. And I understand the wanting, because, our leaders have not necessarily been the greatest in the spotlight. I mean, even Joe Biden's been kind of like whatever at this point.
Sure.
And I feel like reading that implies like, oh, the American way is whatever's happening in the politics or in the government. I'm like,
and the American way.
Sure, I can understand that. I can understand, given what's happened, why you would necessarily want to change that from books. And A Better Tomorrow makes sense, but like, why not just change it in the books and not call a bunch of
make
attention
this
to
whole yeah, it should be Superman saying like he's like I fight for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, like something like that. Like I do feel like, and listen, you're saying like it represents like what I think, unfortunately, the weird cool thing for some Americans now, for a weird amount of them, is to just hate America in a weird way, or like to hate, like
Sure.
to really be anti like your own like and listen. I'm not like gonna sit here and go on this whole spiel about America. I don't really care in that way. It's just more of like, what are we this is what you're spending your creative time on that we need to change that, like, and I don't know. It just felt very weird and odd. And then like even the stuff with like John being bisexual now or something, like very randomly in the comics.
So
have they been building up to that in any way, shape, or form?
I don't know. So the only thing I know about that is Superman. So they talked about that War World arc. Superman is off planet,
Sure,
dealing with that, and Jonathan Kent
is back being Superman,
right?
which is cool, and I think that's actually very
they
interesting.
announced that he was bisexual, and I'm like, I don't really care, but like, he's Superman, and so that being said, they're gonna make it a big deal that he is not straight.
Have that, but again,
I don't know.
The character shown, like I hate these things where it's like a major. That is not like a little thing to change it, like sexual. Like I don't care. Like Superman's gay, like whatever. That's not the big deal. It's more of like these forced kind of like, we're just gonna make this character into something else and like really trying to make a political statement out of this character that has already existed forever. When I'm sorry, like
Jonathan
I do think
Kent's a little different.
I mean, he's been around, like, what do you mean?
He's been around, but I wouldn't say like he's like it's not Clark Kent.
No, I agree, but like he is an established character. Like we've seen him because like again, like I think it's a very random and very pointed thing to just be like to get points, like you're saying.
Sure,
like I do.
I agree with you.
Like that's the only thing there where it's like just that whole panel about Superman was so weird to me and just so off-putting.
The last thing I'll say about it is, I think taking the American out of Superman is very off character,
because Superman's very American. Yeah, that's like
he's very American.
Born and raised in Kansas.
I love like the lines in Man of Steel where he's like, "I'm as American as it gets. I'm from fucking Kansas.
Exactly.
Like, was raised on a farm." Like it is kind of weird that they would like Superman's identity is American.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
That's one of his.
We get comic book stories where he's not from here and he's a totally different person. So in that sense, I think it's like. Yeah, I don't mind changing the line, but again, the fact that they drew so much attention to it, they got Jim Lee up there to say it, it was almost just like...
It was just weird. It was
weird taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. DC's League of Super Pets. I don't know what you want to say about this, but it has an all-star cast.
It'll probably be a fun animated movie. That's it. I don't know. Yeah, like it'll remind me of like Pets or something, I assume.
So, Doom Patrol and Titans both renewed for season 4. I haven't started Doom Patrol. And
I'm not really
Titans.
up to date, so I can't really say much.
Yeah. Then we're next up. The Flash. It's time.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I'm hype. I'm not as gripey about the suit as you are. Trill, here's the floor.
So I'm excited for the actual movie. I mean, this has been in fucking development for what feels like 5 years. It's gone through like 3 or 4 different directors. I think the idea of kind of exploring the multiverse and stuff, that's what Flash does. That's what he is. I think that's very interesting. I think they're now late to the game again with this multiverse stuff, like because they couldn't get their affairs in order. But I'm excited. I think Barry, his new suit, looks fine, but the cowl...
It looks fine.
The cowl looks so bad. And like I really am like it looks like the suit. It looks like the have you ever seen the 90s Justice League TV show? The failed pilot that they tried to do
With Justin Harley?
It might have been. I don't know if he's in, but like it was like this weird like Friends style Justice League show. And like Martian Manhunter's in it, the Flash is in it, like Green Lantern, not what's his name? Fucking Bowl Cut. How am I forgetting his name? Bowl Cut Green Lantern's in it, but he doesn't have a bowl cut.
Oh, Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner's in it.
I'm like, Bowl Cut Green Lantern.
And like
the fucking dog. Oh,
and
God.
like Flash just has this weird, gigantic, thick cowl on. And in this, like that one, I don't know. Listen, I'll take that. I can see more shots, and we've only got this one shot.
We don't have a lot of. We have a very weird, not well lit shot of it.
But it's not even that
it
it's
looks
well
better in the full shot.
But even in the full shot, like you don't really get a good look. Like it's like sitting 2 inches above his head, and it looks like it's like 4 inches thick.
Just give it a chance.
I can't right now. I am so. I saw it. I'm like, man, that looked dumb. And then when I saw the pictures, I'm like, wow, that looks really dumb. Like it's this weird, like kind of straight thing, and then it comes down here. He doesn't have a chin strap.
Yeah.
Which
the chin strap is usually.
But it can work.
He had a chin strap in Justice.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
And it worked in that. It did. Like they got it down. But like
it may be weird that I don't know that, but
it's just
look at
it's a
Miller's chin.
weird, clunky looking helmet. The one side shot at the beginning when he like kind of pulls up and he's like standing outside the house.
I don't think
that
that's
looked
Flash,
kind
by
of
the way.
cool. Why is that?
I think it's Reverse Flash.
I don't think it. Well, they might have changed the colors for like the. I think
so,
that's him going back to try and save his mother.
Right.
Because he had gold. Unless they changed the suit color and all that stuff.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
So, we're doing a Flashpoint movie. This is what this is.
Yeah.
The one of probably Flash's most well-known arcs. Beginning in New 52, he goes back in time, tries to save his mother. The whole fucking universe gets out of whack. He puts it back together, but from that, we get the New 52. Reverse Flash has to be the villain. Has to be.
I think so too.
Has to be.
Yeah.
And I would be disappointed if it's not. I don't know who the fuck else could be the villain of this movie. Has to be Reverse Flash. So, that being said, I almost think that shot is Reverse Flash pretending to be the Flash, which he idolizes, and going back to kill his mom. It's a night shot, too, which also would make sense. I think
could be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he. I feel
one
like
of those Ezra Millers is Reverse Flash. I think the long-haired one is ours. Is the Zack Snyder?
What do you mean? I'm confused.
There's 2 Ezra Millers.
Well, no, there's 2 different Barrys. They look like that's.
Sorry, yeah, there's 2 Barrys.
Yeah, so like no, I know, and I think that Barry is. My guess is that that's the Barry from Keaton's universe.
The long hair?
Yeah, the longer hair one. I think that's his Flash that hasn't really tried to because he seems to have made his suit out of a bat suit.
He does.
So like that was that thing he released. So I think that is the Barry Allen of Tim Burton's Batman.
I don't think that is.
But case. Why would he be I think that's the Superwoman and Bat and Flash from Keaton's universe is my assumption.
Okay.
That's,
See, I think the only thing is I think
she is a gender bent Kal-El too. Also,
you don't think it's Supergirl?
I don't think it's. I think it's Superwoman, and I think it's Kal-El, but
a female.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Or it's his
But they announced it as she was playing Supergirl. That'd be
okay. So that's she could still. I think she still could be Kal-El, the gender, but she's just Supergirl in that universe.
Yeah, I guess she could, right?
Because that's
Superwoman really isn't a thing.
Well, she in Injustice
it is in a way.
She could be his daughter. Her and Lois's daughter.
Right.
Him and Lois is in Injustice, right?
What's her name?
I can't remember.
What's her name? What's
yeah,
her first name?
I know who you're talking about.
She has an abbreviated last name.
But she looks literally exactly like this iteration.
Right.
So I think there's a ton of different things. I think that is Keaton's Flash.
Oh, what's her name?
I can't remember.
Shit. I don't remember it, but it's Kent, is it Lane?
Something like that.
Kent?
I know what you're talking about.
Like, she has an abbreviated name.
But
Fuck, yeah, her.
But
Can't
yeah,
think of
no,
her
I
first
think, dude, there's a lot of cool setup in
Lana?
here.
Is it Lana?
It might be Lana. I
think it is.
really can't remember.
Lana Lane. Lana
She
Lane
only
Kent.
she
It is
only
Lana.
shows up in Injustice, I believe. But
There we go. Keep talking.
I'm excited. I think that's like, it just blows my mind with all of the suits that we've been getting. It leads me to believe that they did not use the same costume company. I just can't imagine that cowl getting past like the guys who did the bat suit, the guys who did it. Like, it just looks so clunky and weird. I'm very
Laura.
put off.
Laura.
Laura Kent. Sorry.
Yeah, Laura Kent.
And she's from the Injustice universe, right?
Yeah, fast forward.
But
I think, no.
overall, I do believe.
Laura Lane Kent.
Yeah.
Laura Lane Kent.
I think it's gonna
That's
be
a
fun.
good guess. I think that's a real
No,
good guess.
I think that's what it is. That's my assumption that because I don't think he would be just going through different I think he went back to save his mother. He tried
Right.
coming back, and now he's in Keaton's timeline for some reason, and he's trying to figure out and
figure out
Thawne
why.
is and he can't get back because Thawne is probably zapping his Speed Force like he does in the other thing, and he needs some
the comics in the movie.
Yeah, and he needs help to defeat him, which I don't know why you'd really get Batman, but I think another Flash, and I think a Superwoman or Supergirl.
So
is the
maybe
way to
that
go.
shot of the hand out is Michael Keaton Batman being killed by Reverse Flash.
I don't think they're
like,
killing him. I think
I
they'll bring.
think they will.
No, I think because they keep talking about how he's going to be like the center, like the new, like kind of like Nick Fury of this. They've said it like in a bunch of interviews.
Really?
Yeah, he's not dying. I don't think so. And guess what,
Dude,
Give me
that missed opportunity with fucking Jeffrey D. Morgan.
I know, I agree. Like I
Thomas
would
Wayne.
have, that
What a
would have
missed
loved
op.
to see.
Maybe he's in it. We
I
don't
was gonna
know.
say that's one thing they could.
He's
like,
done Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Actually, that might not necessarily true, but he could have filmed this easily.
I could have.
So yeah, it's just like talking about No Way Home. It's really hard to tell what anything is from trailers because we know what the
Well, and
Flash
we know
is
so
and what
little compared to like it's. I guess you're really right. That is a good comparison, obviously, in the way of
There's
like
too many multiverse.
we get
things
like
affected.
we get Doc at the end, and then we get Batman who still can't turn his head at the end of this, which I love and I appreciate.
Yeah, and when we get the Batmobile under the tarp.
Was that regular
See-
Barry, or was that what the other Barry?
It's long-haired Barry.
You know, it's so
which
funny.
Which is why I think it's not. Well, actually, it would make
No,
sense
I
if
think,
that
like,
one is from his universe.
I was gonna say but Barry is the Zack Snyder's Barry. That is like it wouldn't be like
short-haired Barry is Zack's.
yes.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And then
with the
long-haired,
Batmobile
I said,
Barry.
I believe he is Keaton's Flash in that universe that really hasn't done a ton. And like Barry finds him and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I have powers, but I haven't really like saved anyone or done. I think I've just been kind of using." So that's why then he builds his suit in the Batcave.
I think the ring is also based off Reverse Flash. I think that's an end shot, or maybe it's reverse. It's because it's a close up of the ring and it's someone's holding it. I think it probably is Reverse Flash's ring. I don't think that's Barry's. There's no way he invents that. And also, he's not named
but
yet.
I'm assuming he gets that with his new suit. That would have been my assumption. that
Maybe
he gets
because he
his,
sees the Reverse Flash use it. Which
no,
is
he
how
could, but like it
happens in
seems
the
like that
show,
suit's
which is how
given
it
to him
happens
early
in
the
comics.
No, I know, but I assume that suit he'll get that from Ben Affleck at the beginning of the movie. Is my assumption. Is where
Oh,
he
I don't
gets
know
that
how
name.
he's getting that suit. That's a great,
I think
question.
I
that
think
I'm
it's
not even gonna
Wayne.
bring up.
I believe it's Wayne Tech. That's my assumption.
So here's my other. Oh wait, we're talking about. There was one more point I had. I think it was about Reverse Flash. I totally lost.
They
the
need to
trail.
release an actual look at his suit. I'm still so hung up on it. I need I need that cowl to look not as bulky and again, like even it's like the thing in the shot, like it's not sitting on his face well.
So at first I thought it was like it's Nightmare Flash. He brought him with him or something. You think we're gonna get a look into that? We think we're gonna jump to that?
So that was one thing people were talking about.
I think it's.
So what do you mean?
Possible.
So Nightmare is in like or is in like death, like metal, like as in Red Death.
Nightmare, as in the Nightmare visions from.
Why would they bring him in?
Because it's a version of that Flash from a different multiverse that is clearly used the cosmic treadmill to go back into the past.
That's too much tie to Zack Snyder. They wouldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Give it to me!
I know, Gooch. I'm sorry. Like,
I want it!
I really think they're trying to. And listen, I've been proven wrong, and I will accept it if I'm wrong again. But they seem to be really distancing from that. Anywho, I think.
Sorry.
Okay.
I remembered. I got to get it
okay.
in. I think we're going to see Grant. I think we're going to see Grant Gustin.
Oh, I think we are too. I think they have to.
Because Grant Gustin has named him. He figures out he's Flash from that Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's true.
And he's like, what?
The Flash?
Yeah.
The red streak? No, I only get those in my underwear. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, man. I really hope.
I think he has to.
I do think that'd
Ezra
be
Miller,
so cool for Grant.
I think
too.
Ezra Miller would have made that happen. I think he would have been like, we got to fit this in somehow. But
yeah, right.
I think one of the strong possibilities for a villain is Red Death too. Other than
I don't want Red Death, dude.
I know
Just
he's
give me
become pretty
Reverse.
popular. I think Reverse Flash is the way to go.
Why Red Death?
Because just an evil just an evil Batman who fused with I don't know that he's like. I think they still will use.
It's not
Thawne.
Batman. I thought it's the Flash.
Red Death? No, it's Bruce.
Oh, it is.
He fuses with Barry.
I thought
takes
it's because he straps Barry to the front of the Batman, being like fucking.
That's what he does.
No,
I
know.
But then it fuses. Like
I gotta
Barry
read
is
that
still
comic. So many comics.
Barry is still in his mind. Like he used the Speed Force to fuse together with him.
That's crazy.
It's weird. Yeah, it's very weird. So that's I think a little too highbrow and a little bit too much going on. So I think Thawne has to, like you're saying.
Also, in the beginning when he was like, "Yeah, we're still like producing this. We don't have a lot, but here you go," and I was like, "Nah, he's bullshitting." And I'm like, "Wow, maybe he's." This isn't coming out until. Actually, it doesn't even have a date.
I mean, it's a very probably special effects heavy movie.
I kind of saved some of my thoughts about that till the end, but a lot of these projects are like really far out. Everything we've pretty much talked about is not coming out.
Well, I mean, dude, Batman should have been out by now. All these movies that should have been.
That's probably, that we've seen the most of at this point.
Yeah, and that's been screened a bunch of times still. But
so it's done?
No, yeah, it's basically done. Yeah.
I wonder how much
it would have been ready for last year, most likely.
Well, we'll talk to it. I wonder how much they filmed before pandemic. But anything else about The Flash?
I'm excited. That's it.
Absolutely. You'll grow on the cow, trust me.
I don't think I will.
See you at the review.
I hope so. I hope I do.
Quickly, Sandman casted Lucifer, who's being played by Gwendolyn Christie.
That was cast like a while. That was like our first look at her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That cast was announced like a bit ago.
That's a pretty cool casting, because we've already seen Gwendolyn Christie as a villain in the underutilized Captain Phasma in Star Wars, so she's kind of getting another chance to be a bad guy.
I think she could be good. Yeah. Don't know much about Sandman.
We got a very early look at Blue Beetle. A lot of the team, obviously, they're all Latin folks making that movie based on Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. Again, like they just talked about it, and it seems we
got a concept art of his suit.
I feel like how can that be bad?
I agree.
I think Blue Beetle's gonna be cool. We haven't explored that yet.
Did you see the concept for his suit?
Yes,
Looks good.
it's one
classic.
thing of him doing.
I mean, it honestly looks like straight out of Injustice 2.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that because that's like again he's more of like a teenager and it's more of like a family thing
and like kind of dealing with like absolutely.
And Injustice, it's like that
dealing with an alien bug.
Yeah, and in Young Justice, it's the same way. It's a lot of like his family doesn't know he's Blue Beetle and he's hiding it, and he also has to deal with the Scarab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just being
an alien artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Next up, we got Gotham Knights. Again, another.
We got some like environmental shots and like things like
some
that.
more like trailer but no gameplay. That's kind of what the only thing I guess. Well, I'll make a comment about like these are the only two games we saw. I really wish when Jeff Keighley was talking to Ed Boon about Injustice, they announced Injustice 3. That would have been like the greatest thing.
I mean, that was leaked pretty. Like, wasn't that leaked in that big data breach or not data breach, but the one that was like there was like something online that some
so.
like some
The
open
NVIDIA
forum
leak.
that they
The
yeah
NVIDIA
that was
leak.
it yeah.
I think so.
I think it was like Injustice 3, Gods Have Fallen or something like that.
I want it right now.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
Just
I'm
give me
excited.
Black Canary again. But yeah, we didn't. Again, it's the same thing with like Suicide Squad kills, except we've seen more of Gotham Knights. We didn't see a ton. I mean, we're getting a Court of Owls
I think
story.
the
Penguin is making an appearance. That was new, played by Elias Dufexis, who plays Adam Jensen in
Yeah.
Deus Ex, which is cool.
I think gameplay wise, we're expecting very similar to the Arkham series as it's been.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not
Batman's
very like
dead.
yeah, and I'm like all the different characters are gonna play differently. I'm curious as to how that works. Like if you have to like if you play as certain people throughout the campaign, or if I can go through the whole campaign as Batgirl
Yeah,
and then as
again,
Nightwing.
the intricacies to both Suicide Squad, Kills the Justice League, and Gotham Knights, there's just like not a lot out. It's kind of like I'm still like, what are these games? You know?
From what they've said, they are co-op narrative driven games.
The next time we see
So,
them,
like,
we need some
gameplay.
like in-depth.
But I will give it to
gameplay.
them. Like we only saw like slivers of the like they haven't been like they told us when they're working on them. This is the first time we've seen anything of them since. So you know,
Right.
I do want some more. I think E3 will be the time where we definitely see like all
I
that.
mean, looks like the Talons are going to be our goons. I'm interested to see the Court of Owls story because really we haven't Gotham explored Court of Owls a little bit in its narrative in its later seasons, but Court of Owls really hasn't been explored too much in any sort of Batman thing ever.
I think they're gonna be in the Batman. I think they're gonna be like the bad guy. Like I think like
Hold it. Next up, we have. Do you have anything else about Gotham Knights?
No, I mean I think that's gonna be a good game. I do. I'm excited. I have a lot of questions. Like I said,
Still wish Robin was Red Robin, but won't.
you can be the Red Robin suits in Arkham City, and it looks really good actually.
I just wish. Why is Tim Drake so Robin? He can't be Robin. Batman's dead. It's Red Robin.
Well, it's weird in like the newer continuity. He doesn't even become Robin. He just goes straight to Red Robin, which is weird. But let's go. Let's continue.
Next up, we have Catwoman Hunted. This is our anime-style Catwoman movie. Also, Batwoman is in this. What'd you think about this?
It looks exciting. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks different. I'm not too much to say, to be honest.
I think the anime style lends to Catwoman's vibe. So
And it looks good. It looks good. It does.
Yeah, it looks good. Batman Unburied podcast. Did you have anything to say about that?
Not at all. I was very tuned out at that part. Like, what was it? It's just,
It was
just
like
an audio
just
podcast.
Like the Wolverine.
The Wolverine
one.
thing. Yeah, like
I was just gonna say, I'm like, maybe I'll give that a listen. I've never really listened to podcasts that were like story driven.
They're interesting.
So
The
maybe-
Wolverine one, I think I got halfway through and just stopped, not because it wasn't good, but because I don't know, I didn't keep along with it. But I would recommend.
So something similar that would happen with Blue Beetle happened with the Batgirl movie. They kind of just got like they're still nowhere near production, and they were just talking
They showed us a
about
piece of like miscellaneous concept art of Batwoman on a roof.
Yeah, they confirmed that she'll have a cow.
That is cool.
And they're not doing the
hair.
Batgirl of Burnside
I like
with
that.
the domino mask. I'm like, okay, I can get so the red hair is going to be interesting because it's like can a Latina woman have red hair? They're going to have to dye it, right?
No, they would. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll look.
I've never seen like
Listen,
I've never seen red hair on a dark-skinned woman.
I brought you here today, Gooch, to discuss the ginger suicide or not suicide.
Genetics?
That just gingers are just ignored. They're just passed off for all these roles, and it's really ridiculous.
I don't think I would have cared if she had red hair or not. That's all I'll say.
I don't know. I
don't think it bugs me that much.
I feel like that is a very like
it's
iconic look of Batgirl.
Sure.
Like seeing the cow with the red hair kind of coming out. I don't know. I think the red hair is a bit of a hallmark.
Yeah, but I think just because they changed her race, I feel like they're in the territory of they can do what they want now. So that's kind of what I've tossed it up as.
No, she has to have red hair.
No,
if they don't give her red hair, I'm not seeing the movie. Anyways, yeah, that should be interesting. They said Batman's going to be in it. So
they did?
I thought I saw somewhere that they said like
Pattinson.
But I don't think so, because like he seems to be very, or unless like it's like after and like we'll get to the Pattinson or Mr. Patman himself in a minute. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about more when we get to the Batman. Continue.
We got a quick look at the Harley Quinn season 3, which looks like it's not even close to being done.
No, Harley and Ivy are together in this one, right?
Yeah,
that's
at the
cool.
end of season
that's
2.
really cool.
Yeah, they hook up because she marries Kite Man and she like runs away and then they like
fucking Kite Man.
Wait, was it? Hell yeah, that show's pretty,
It's fun, dude. It's
good.
great. It is.
Yeah,
I got to give it credit. And Kaylee Cuoco as Harley
Is
Quinn.
that how you say her last name?
I believe so.
I think it was Cucho.
I don't know.
Kelly Cucho.
I thought it was Cuoco.
Let's move on.
Anyways,
Batman, Caped Crusader, Bruce Timm's reboot of the animated series. Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams are also involved in this, and holy
executive producing.
Shit, this sounds incredible.
the way he said it, yeah,
They're getting
the
back
elevator pitch,
to the first few episodes of the animated series. No Robin, just Batman. Not a lot of gadgets. Like not early, not year one, but like still like it's grounded in a.
He's the only super.
sort
No,
of way.
it's Batman. It is, and
It is
like I don't
it
know,
is
like
Batman.
it's that kind of classic Batman formula where like he's gonna be having these multi-story arcs. They said it's gonna be a lot more adult in that way and stuff like that, which is very exciting.
It's
to me.
airing on Cartoon Network and HBO
So
Max.
that's interesting to me.
They
I assume
understand-
it's gonna be Adult Swim. Like I'd be like how
All they said was Cartoon Network.
because then they can't get that dark if they're going on. Like that kind of makes me a
Maybe
little
they
bit
did.
more.
Maybe they meant Adult Swim when they said
Maybe
Cartoon
they did.
Network.
I don't know, but like
Adult Swim is Cartoon Network.
I think, like he was talking about the things that they couldn't necessarily do animation-wise back in the day, all these maybe different topics they wanted to explore. I think it's going
And
to
like
be
changing
awesome.
up some characters, which makes sense.
To a degree, yeah, but I hope they don't go like
Which I think
too
just
out
means
there.
like maybe gender swapping or changing races or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they meant by
I know,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, fantastic stuff. But I am very interested to see what they do. And, Bruce Timm, that he's involved directly in that he seemed to really want to do this is what makes me even more. It's not like that he was approached and that like he apparently he was talking about that like short they released a while back. Like
I think I haven't seen that.
I don't think I have either. And you know what I would love if they started him out in that classic, but like the purple gloves, the weird kind of floppy ears, and like the yellow belt and everything, and like the small bat. I think kind of working that way would be really cool.
It's gonna be awesome, dude.
I'm so
Especially
excited.
as somebody who's just finished the entire animated series, like of everything. Like
Yeah.
that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Like no other heroes, like just Batman in his gallery.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. We were talking and we were like, do you think he casts Conroy as Batman? And I'm like, dude, who else?
How old is he though?
Kevin Conroy?
Yeah,
He's not young.
I didn't think so. Like,
But dude, I
agree
I
with-
think he said that he would never refuse a Batman role.
So that's the thing. I think they would at least offer it to him, at the
I
least.
fucking hope.
No,
they
I
do.
think like that's, but like I don't know.
I
if
feel
he-
like Conroy kind of makes that whole thing. It's kind of like peanut butter
even
and
going
jelly.
back to Arkham, like those Arkham games, the fact that Conroy is Batman in that and that
It
Hamill
makes
is Joker,
it
really
changes
does
it.
like it brings it home.
Right.
So like,
that's what I'm saying.
It was more of like I guess
And it's Bruce
do you
Timm,
think
you know? Like I feel like he
again? I don't think he wouldn't have offered him the part. It's more of like, does he want to like get into a series that could be multiple seasons right now and stuff like it?
What's the casting director's name for that show?
I don't know.
Kristen. Hold on, I gotta look it up.
Why did she like say something or other?
No, but she's the person who, she's the Batman animated series casting.
Yeah, because I don't
director.
really know much about the whole
Chris
process behind that.
Andrea Romano. Andrea Romano is the casting director for all those shows. So she like, she was in the booth when they were recording. I would imagine that she's gonna return for this, and I feel like if she does, it's kind of just like again, it's just like you gotta.
No,
get
I
those
do. I
people
think
back.
that's the way they're going to. It was just more of a curious question I had. But what's next?
Young Justice Phantoms. They showed a trailer and they dropped it on HBO Max, so the first 2 episodes are out.
Oh, that's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
I can't wait to jump back in again. There's like too many shows. The DC is dropping way too many shows right now. Actually, it's a
lot. There's a ton going on,
It's
yeah.
a bit overwhelming. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We got our first behind-the-scenes look of the 2023 picture, which I'm like, holy shit, that movie's
It's far.
that's far away. Philadelphia's own. Shazam.
Philadelphia's own. I do forget that he's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I love how he said that, and they were like, "Oh, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's in Philly."
Looks
Did this
good.
movie actually shoot here though? I don't think so. I didn't
Oh
hear
no,
it.
it's shooting Vancouver probably or something. Those fuckheads. But
Unless they're getting like shot. Yeah, I'm like, we would have heard if they were shooting this movie.
you absolutely would have. No,
Well, and like, are they even done? It's coming out in 2023.
that's the thing. I think it just finished up like principal photography like in the last month. So
Okay.
you know, I think it's a little over. I am surprised at 2023. Though.
Yeah.
That does surprise me.
It's
Maybe
probably
they
gonna be
just
like a
spread it.
January.
Well, you got to think though. Also, like they have to put out these movies that are basically done
Also,
like the Batman. Like
COVID
yes,
has
that's
probably a lot to do with that.
no, absolutely. And
Because this didn't even start, and then
Until
everything
during-
that was
yeah.
in mid-production is now pushed back.
Exactly.
So like, all right, Shazam has to get pushed back. with the
even
rest.
more. So this probably would have been 2022.
Right.
And then Black Adam might have even been the end of this, like, or the Batman was definitely supposed to be end of this year, like, supposed to have come out by now already. So, yeah, very curious. What's up next though?
Well, real quick, Helen Mirren and Lucy
Oh, that's
Liu
right, yeah.
as the villains. So they're going to be
New
like
new villains, not in the comics, I believe.
really
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting. Lucy Liu's cool casting. Helen Mirren, I think, is even more interesting.
I think the idea of exploring like the more Greek mythology stuff and like apparently they're going to
think that's the
Athens.
vibe.
I think that's what
Are we not going to
getting-
get what's his name? The worm?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's his name again?
I don't remember.
And Savannah coming
Yeah.
back?
I'm excited. I'm not like too like what's his name looks like a full grown man now, which is hilarious. The kid. So
What? Oh, Asher,
he looks a lot older.
Yeah,
which is so fun.
That's the same thing like Stranger Things. It's like, dude, like
What happened?
what happened?
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't know. Overall, I'm excited. I think good cast. I love the suits. They look really cool. Not much to say otherwise though.
Right. I think with all this little information will play into our ends, kind of, again talking about it, but I'll save it. I wanted to bring up the Wonder Woman 80th year thing because they confirmed they're making Patty Jenkins is doing a third Wonder Woman, and I'm kind of like,
That was already confirmed.
was it?
Yeah, it was like they announced that like the week after. They were like, "Oh no, she's coming." Like she's like for the sequel. Like yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
yeah. No, I had known that.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, all right, Patty, you got some shit to prove after 84. That wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't, and it's confused. Like I'm curious because the first one, third act has its issues, but I think overall that first movie is incredibly well done.
And the second one is incredibly not well done.
Just especially when comparing it to that first one, like it does so, like
Horrible.
I didn't find it as offensive as a lot of people seem to find it. Like
I think
bad,
just like
but like I really didn't. There
As
was a
I've
lot of stuff to like really not like in it, and just stupid choices.
as
made.
I've sat on it, I just feel like I'm like, yeah, it's not good. I like that ending scene when they bring in the Han and Junkie XL score from BVS. And,
That's about it.
I wonder what they're gonna do for the 80th anniversary, just in general, like what they're gonna bring in. I know
Probably going to be a bunch of stories.
I know
and
they
stuff,
announced
yeah.
like that Trial of the Amazonian storyline when they're bringing in like Nubia and Yara, whatever. Her
And I
name
mean,
is,
they
that's
didn't
the
say
new
much
Wonder
about
Girl.
this, but apparently they are doing a Themyscira show on HBO Max.
Okay.
That was like, but like that was announced in production like forever ago.
Speaking of HBO Max, Pennyworth is coming to HBO Max. I don't know who the fuck is watching the show.
Please, can you tell like if
who's watching this?
Can you comment on this video and say, hey, I watch Pennyworth if you watch Pennyworth? Because obviously someone is, and it's like doing well enough.
I haven't heard.
It feels
fucking
like
thing
who
about
I
this
think
show.
like it, like the Downton Abbeys people and stuff like
think?
that. I think it's like an older people shit. Like I don't know. I think it's just found its audience with like older people who might not even realize that it's like connected to Batman.
I think
in any way.
just like Krypton that I've been putting it off. I'm not gonna watch Pennyworth, and I don't.
But
plan
even
on
like
it.
Krypton was more like that first
I gotta
season was
watch Krypton.
surprisingly like great. Whereas like Pennyworth, again, you could show that to my grandma and she'd be like, "This looks like a fun show." Like she has no idea.
Is
Like
is your grandma British?
she is. She's British now, but she'd probably love it for some reason. I don't know. I think it is that more older crowd that doesn't even necessarily isn't even aware that
That's
this is a
kind of what
Batman
because
show.
it's a Showtime show, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Or is it on Stars or something
It's
like
on
that?
some weird.
But I
thing.
mean, hey,
now it's coming to Max though.
Bringing
I thought,
it to
right?
Max is
Yeah.
just kind of the way.
I think so too.
That is the way.
Have we come to the end?
Let's finish this strong. The Batman. We got our second extended trailer for Matt Reeves, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. Sorry, Jeffrey Wright,
Colin Farrell.
The director of Venom. There will be
Reeves,
carnage.
Matt Reeves,
Andy
also
Serkis.
Andy Serkis, and then I can't remember who plays the Riddler. Paul Dano, maybe.
Paul
is his
Dano.
name? Yeah, Gooch, what'd you think?
Pretty hype.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped.
It looks pretty good.
It looks really good.
Looks really good.
So apparently it's like nearly 3 hours.
Oh,
long.
great.
Very detective.
That's how you know it's a good
noir driven movie.
3 hour plus. That's what we need.
They look like they're going very year one inspired, as Matt Reeves said.
Yeah,
We got
that's nothing new.
Batman in his second year. He's kind of
Wait,
looks,
what do you mean? It's supposed to be year one.
No, it's year one inspired, but it's supposed to be like within like I don't think it's literally supposed to be his first year. I think it's like the second or third. Like I thought Reeves like even says that.
Oh, okay.
It's year one inspired. Like it's a very early set Batman is more of like it's not literally
Right.
it's not the like year one you get like the actual origin story and all that stuff
Yeah.
in. But yeah, man.
Very
think
opposite of Ben Affleck
What do you mean?
in the sense of what kind of Batman we're getting.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's different in the way of
Could have just said yes.
no. I think no. You're like I think it's very different in the way of like yeah, like at what time span we're
It's
viewing
total
it.
opposite side of the spectrum.
No, it is,
all
and
I
like
meant.
so that's the one thing I am curious on this is how I don't want them to go full Dark Knight realism again. I don't.
I don't either.
I think there's
and Matt Reeves in the interview they had with Zoe and Robert. He said.
He wants grounded.
He kept saying grounded. And I was like, we're getting away from the fantasy, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like,
but I don't want you to do that too much.
don't do it like Dark Knight though.
Yeah, like,
because
do it like
Dark
with-
Knight trapped itself within its own thing,
and which is fine, and it works for it.
right?
Very
but
well.
I
yeah.
feel like the Dark Knight is remembered, but like, no offense, a lot of plebs like the Dark Knight because it's easy to understand. I feel like you don't hear people
No,
going,
that's- but
you
I
know
think
what?
that's
You know
because-
what? My favorite Batman is Batman v Superman. I mean, one, you're not going to hear that in general, but two, Batman v Superman has a lot of fantastical elements to it. It's
well,
not
that's true,
grounded.
but I don't think that's not why. Sure, no, I agree with you, and I don't think that's not why people don't necessarily have like those movies either way. I think the realism is a bit of it, but like this is the kind of universe where I'm curious. Like, if we see a Killer Croc, is it a man with like a skin disease?
Or
And like he's shot, or is it like,
hulking
or is it
monster?
a guy that for some reason is a crocodile man? Like I want them to like
Who knows?
Who knows? I want them to kind of lean into a bit of the fantastical while keeping this more grounded year
But,
one kind of story.
I mean, I think you're also implying there's going to be a sequel.
Which I mean, come on.
Joker. Come on.
No, but that was a completely. There is no way.
I totally disagree
I
with you.
would bet I would bet my life savings on it that they already have it almost written. Yeah, but like no, there's no way this is like Joker. That was coming into it with the very like they were talking about it all the time how this is probably going to be a one-off. And when they asked like, do you see like that was very clear. I think this is more like I think they signed Pattinson on for 3 films easily. There's no way they only signed him for
I
1.
hope not.
I mean, I think that's a shoo-in. But
What are we going to call it? The Batman 2?
sure. No, I don't know. But this whole tone of the movie, it looks very obviously it's been beaten to death saying, but it's very noir, it's very detective heavy, it's Batman trying to solve these crimes. It seems like Riddler, it's one of those situations where he already set up the crimes and now he's in jail and like they're all kind of unfolding.
Right.
So I'm very
Sure.
interested. I think that fucking suit looks great. I think there's some great action just beats in the actual trailer. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable, but I love it so much.
So, I think we're Oswald Cobblepot is not the Penguin yet. 100% not.
No, I don't think he's known.
There's
as
no fucking way. Just by the way he looks, and I think he's more gonna be like business oriented.
He's more mobster.
Well, like he is, right? He's going to be more mobster like he is in Gotham, but he's going to be more in high society than he is in Gotham. Like, he's going to be at the head of something, but obviously mob on the side.
Sure.
Just by the way they're depicting him, and, you know, he's not missing an eye yet. He's done, you know. And I think that's fine. I think the way Gotham did the Penguin was actually probably one of the best parts about Gotham is the way they depicted him and his build
Then at the
up.
end, they just gave him all the Penguin stuff, right? He has the top hat and the monocle.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, it's a like 6-7 season show.
No,
like,
sure.
Got to get to it eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Still
dude,
young though. In
that
show.
Batmobile looks great. I
Yeah.
like how simple it is.
Right. It's like a muscle car turned into like a super fucking speed machine that like what's his face? You know, Dominic Toretto souped up for Bruce Wayne.
Absolutely. No, it does.
Like,
It's
this is about family.
Yeah, he's all about family. But
This is for your mom and your dad.
it's for my mom and my dad. God damn it.
Dom said.
Dom said it.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I don't know how much we talked about the Batman on this podcast, but you know, I think it's pretty obvious that everyone's like, you know, the suit's more real.
Tactical.
It's tactical because Batman doesn't know how to do his things yet. Bruce Wayne as a persona isn't really
He doesn't
devised
seem to
yet.
be. It seems
They
like he's
talked
more
about-
on like whereas like Dark Knight Batman had like Wayne tech behind him, kind of funneling him this tech.
Right. It doesn't.
It seems like more of him doing his own thing.
and maybe that's because he's not involved in Wayne Enterprises.
I think
yet.
this is going to kind of explore. Like, obviously, it's still very early Batman. He's still figuring out a lot of things. Like, he seems to be almost enjoying it a lot more. Like when he's beating the like in this way.
Dude,
like,
they do
I
they
think,
do
like,
the Batman v Superman like. They do it in Gotham too, where like he's like leaning over and he's just wailing
Yeah.
on it. I'm like, it's the same shot. I was
But
like, yes.
I think it's. You can tell this is a young Batman who's still trying to figure out maybe exactly why he's doing this. He's just he's a frustrated guy going out and beating up criminals.
And you know
to,
how
like,
you know that? Because when they arrest the Riddler, he gets mad real fast.
Could you understand what he was saying there?
I watched it before
I watched
you
it
came
like
over.
3 times.
What did Batman say?
Yeah.
I think he said, "What did you do?" or something
That's
like
what
that.
I think it. But like it was like. Whoa, whoa,
And you know what? Andy Serkis has a line after he goes, "What's black and blue and dead all over?" And he goes, "Dick." And I'm like, "What?"
So, I heard
dick.
dick too.
I'm like, "What?" And I replayed it like 3 times. I put captions on. I'm like, "Is he saying dick?"
It sounds like
Dick
he's
Grayson?
saying. So,
I'm like, what
You know
else?
what I would
why would he
really-
be calling him a dick out of context?
you know what they
Like in the
really need
trailer.
to do in these in the next ones. If I want them to do the Robin, like an actual, like a real
Dick
Robin,
Grayson.
Dick Gray, like
12-year-old.
Yes, like no, but like more even like really try to take a crack at that Robin story in a way
Yeah,
that
we
I
really
don't think
haven't
has been
gotten it.
done on
Yeah, we haven't.
on screen, and I think that could be very interesting. Him as like he's supposed to be, I guess, in his mid-30s in this, but like seeing this kid who lost his parents.
Mid-30s? I think he's in his late 20s. He has to be my age or our age. There's no way he's mid-30s.
But that's, I'm sorry, I would have said early 30s. That's what I meant. But like, I'd be careful, like, because I feel like when he usually starts in the comics, he's like late to early 30s. Like that's when they usually are kind of set.
Really?
That's what it usually seems like.
Okay.
But I don't know. So, bar that, I'm curious if they're gonna do stuff like.
now we're talking about things that
Yeah.
aren't even real.
If, like,
but yeah,
the-
it did sound like Andy Serkis said dick.
I think he definitely did, and I think they're gonna go with. I'm curious if they're either gonna go with the League of Shadows that he interacts with, if they're gonna reference them if somehow like he did train with them, or it's gonna be like in year 1 where
I hope not.
where Alfred trains him.
I hope. I mean, I would rather see that as the case. I don't want. You know,
I don't think-
because Batman Begins did the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul as the first sort of villain.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it again.
No, but I don't think they'd bring. I'm saying more in the way of just a reference. I don't think they'd actually like show them.
Sure.
Because this isn't going to be an. I don't think we're going to see much of the origin.
Yeah, and Matt Reeves said we're not, but I think the training isn't as formal as what we've gotten before.
Well, because in year 1, Alfred's like an ex-military guy, which is interesting, and he like trains Bruce.
yeah,
so
which
I'm
is I
curious
feel
to
like
see what they're doing.
what they do now
Yeah.
mostly. That Alfred is ex SAS or
Mm-hmm.
ex Special Forces, British Special Forces.
We really don't get a good look at Paul Dano in this one.
They really do a very good, not good job, but like clearly covering his face for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm really excited to see the Riddler. He's a Batman villain we really haven't gotten a lot of in sort of my lifetime.
Aside from Batman Forever,
right?
obviously.
Aside from Jim Carrey, and that's a totally different vibe and a
100%.
different Riddler. But we haven't gotten a really serious kind of Riddler.
No, I mean,
we're
even
definitely getting it here, and it's going to be interesting to see them explore that character.
I feel like
even the games
in a lot of comics and games, he's a bit more. There's also in Telltale,
right? But
which is actually a lot more ruthless and sinister,
but still grounded in that he has the question mark cane, and his mannerisms are still very.
They didn't even say his
Riddler.
name in this either yet. Like they haven't, like, because he's
no,
obviously
yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yes,
Oh,
somebody. I think he calls himself the Riddler.
Oh,
and I assume the media gives him the name.
Well, no, I meant Like I didn't hear them say like Edward Nygma.
I think it's Edward Ashton. I don't think it's Nygma.
Why wouldn't?
'Cause
Guys,
what?
Don't change the name.
That's his name in the comics too.
I thought it was Edward Nygma.
It's Edward Nygma or Edward Ashton.
I didn't
both.
realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Different
But
interpretations.
But make it Nygma. That's kind of fun. It's an enigma. God damn it. Anyways, I'm very interested. They seem to be going in this like Zodiac.
Paul
killer.
Dano in is it Prisoners or Zodiac?
I think so. Prisoners. Yeah, he can play a weird, creepy dude,
Dude.
very well.
That movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and
It's on my list. I need to watch it.
So good. Actually, you have homework to do. Watch that movie before the Batman comes
right, I'll
out,
have
because
to.
I think you're gonna get a really good look at where Paul Dano is channeling.
I see all these jokes online about like, man, Paul Dano plays a sniveling weirdo really well, and then it's like this fucking compilation of all his fucking acting. I'm like, he's really good, but I think the idea of this being very focused on Batman trying to solve a mystery, trying to solve a crime, is awesome.
Yeah,
and not something we really got in the movies yet.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think it's gonna be great.
didn't they kind of promise that in BVS?
A little bit.
And
you kind of get it in The Dark Knight when he somehow reconstructs that bullet, which I don't even really understand how it works.
Lucius,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he literally, like, that's so weird. But, yeah, not a lot of detecting in these movies. And listen,
we get a little bit of it in BVS, but not much to call it detective work.
I'm trying to,
when he
I guess when he's undercover at that, like, party a little bit and he's doing, that's a bit of detecting.
Yeah.
But, like, I do want to see stuff of, like, him examining the crime scene, him running, like, him being the world's greatest detective. We need to see it. But I don't know, Gooch. I think that's basically it.
No, Catwoman.
Oh, duh. Not much there.
She looks great.
She looks awesome. She
That
looks like
scene
Catwoman.
of them on the roof. I really hope they lean into the romance. I really hope. I wouldn't mind if she knew he was Bruce Wayne at the end of this, because we have. You know what I was thinking a lot about? I was thinking about Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, because that's the last Catwoman we've gotten. Catwoman's not really a character that's big. I feel like
we've had two major iterations.
Catwoman is around.
Well, now hold on. We forgot about the best iteration.
Gotham?
Halle Berry in 2008's Catwoman.
Oh God,
that is not even sort of like the comic books.
Catwoman too, but. Yeah, we haven't really gotten a lot of interpretations of Catwoman. So
well, not on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, in general. I mean, she's used a lot.
I feel like she shows up in a lot of stuff.
But like, yeah, okay, you're right. On the big screen. Anne Hathaway's Catwoman is so not comic book accurate at all. So like,
what?
I don't. She's just like she's not really Catwoman. She's just like a girl who. Like, is a thief.
I'm gonna have to harshly disagree with you on that. The way she acts, the way she's like smooth, the way she kind of like. I think they nailed her in that movie.
I think
that is Catwoman.
I think it's a little too grounded for it to be Catwoman, because Catwoman just makes cat puns and.
No, I know that we weren't getting these.
She
but
leans
like,
into it.
But she was getting
into the cat thing.
But she does. She listen. I'll agree to disagree with you on that one, because I think she's awesome. I think she's amazing as Catwoman. I think it is very.
I don't
Catwoman.
think Anne Hathaway sticks out. Again, I haven't seen Dark Knight Rises in a minute, so maybe I should rewatch
The way she
it.
talks, like I think she is so
Storm
Selena Kyle.
coming, Mr. Wayne.
I think she's so Selena Kyle.
Really?
I really do. I think she's awesome. That cat suit, even the way I think I do usually get really annoyed when Nolan has to make a fucking real world reason for everything existing, but I think her goggles becoming her cat ears works so well.
See, I think what I see as Catwoman is this like really like lean into the cat thing, and I think Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, Chris Nolan's Catwoman, doesn't do that.
That's true.
And it looks like Matt Reeves is Catwoman's, Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman is gonna eventually lean into that. I mean,
I feel like from what we're seeing right now, she looks for me about as even as Selena Kyle in The Dark Knight. She has a hat that has that like goes over, and she kind of has ears because of the hat.
right, but I think she's gonna get the costume.
I hope she does. I think she will by the end too. By the way,
and
that
also-
shot of them in the sunlight is totally the end.
Also, the relationship thing too. I want to see more of that.
I feel like because there's no way they're not from this trailer. Even the way she's like, I wonder who's behind. Like, there's some good. I think they're 100%.
Yeah, like I want to see them like fucking banging on a rooftop.
I thought you just said I want to see them fuck and bang on a rooftop. I was like,
fucking banging on a rooftop in costume. Yeah, like
in costume.
in costume.
No, don't take off the mask.
Mask on.
Oh god.
Yeah, but no, I want them to do a lot of like steamy romance between them because like they do a lot of that in the comics, and Dark Knight definitely doesn't explore that in the way
As much. No, for sure. I think
they do it in the real world because they're in a relationship, right?
Yeah, and then by the end, like I think the idea that again, I think actually I don't love the Dark Knight Rises, but I think it nails the Catwoman stuff personally. I think like that.
Maybe
whole
I'm just
dynamic-
forgetting.
I don't know. I think like that's one of the strongest parts of that movie.
Really?
Yeah,
You think?
I really do.
You don't like Bane?
I think they get.
It's me, Tom Hardy. It's my debut.
By the way, I love that they use that voice in Harley Quinn. That he like does. Oh, Harley, what's going on? Great stuff.
Back. it's me, Bane.
It's really good. But I don't know, Gooch, was there anything else from the Batman trailer? I'm trying to think if we missed. That last shot is really good. When he's like walking away from the flames and his cape's like flip.
Yeah,
and he's upside down.
I got him, yeah.
He's upside down like a bat. It's so good. I love it.
Oh, nice. I didn't think about it like
It's
that.
great stuff.
I'm
It
just
really is.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, I mean, the Batman's going to be a cool, different venture. I hope they lean into the Catwoman stuff. The Riddler stuff's going to be great.
I mean, for how many Batman movies we get, it feels pretty fresh looking to me. Like, fresh in the way of like how they're tackling it.
Yeah.
So, I can't wait. But,
And
Gooch,
that does it for DC Fandome. So, the quick sum up, how did you enjoy the Dome? We're walking out now. We've just enjoyed the Dome.
It was pretty domey, that's for sure. Overall, we got some pretty interesting stuff, less than I was maybe expecting for certain things.
Yeah, I think that was kind of my big thing, which I was alluding to, that all these projects are like, besides the Batman, are really far out.
Well, I mean, so Shazam or Black Adam will be that next year too, right? That'll be after. And then also
And the Flash.
The Flash.
Yeah, but
So,
like,
I mean-
and there were no like brand new announcements.
And again, I think they're just trying to play catch up after COVID. True, I think that's kind of made. I mean, obviously we had Batwoman. Like a lot of these were because I feel like you always complain about, and I think rightfully so, WB letting all these leaks out and like talking about a show before it's even really ever in development. With the Blue Beetle one, with Batwoman or Batgirl, with a few of these, it was like, no, these are happening, and I'm like, that's cool. That's actually
Right,
nice
they-
to know.
they
They are
solidified.
committed.
Yeah.
These are being developed. These are being shot. So that I thought was cool. But I do think like Shazam, I thought we were gonna get way more. Black
Right.
Adam, I thought we
could have
maybe got a bit more than we did, but that
same
was
thing with the
very-
Flash. It was
And the
just like,
Flash, yeah.
Flash was really surprising.
The Flash, I was surprised we didn't, like I said, get a shot of his suit. Like at least,
I
like or
think that
something
would have.
like that.
If they showed that, I think that would have
Maybe
satiated
I
my
hope so.
my taste buds.
I hope so. But yeah, overall, it was fun. It was an enjoyable enough time.
Yeah, I think the way they did it this year was kind of better than last year. They did it one day. I think it was over like 2 weekends or like 2 days, and it was like all day. This one was like 4 hours, and they showed a lot. I'm like, do you want to see more fandom, or do you think as we're getting out of COVID pretty much at this point, I think I can say.
I mean, unfortunately, not to get on that, I think that's going to be just a wave thing, and we're going to have to be dealing with that for a while.
Right.
So I'm curious. I think this is sticking around.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to. I liked the kind of Comic-Con thing a little bit better.
The one thing I didn't. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. That's really it.
The one thing I just didn't like, and I was like, are we really still doing Zoom interviews with some of these people?
Oh, I know.
Like,
it's
really?
weird. I don't get it.
I'm like, you guys have probably been together like recently. And I'm like,
well, but you also got to think it's easier than getting everyone in the same room,
most people
too.
can get vaccinated. I'm like, well, why are we still doing or even with like that Suicide Squad panel? I'm like, why don't you just get them in a fucking room?
But then you got to get everyone on the same flight to LA, and I think
I
they're
have
like
a lot of time to do this.
well, sure, but like you got to think about that. You got to get 8 different people scheduled to line up. 10
Maybe
different.
it doesn't need to be everyone, but it can be a majority.
Sure, I don't. Those didn't bug me necessarily as much, but I do. I get what you're saying. I do. But Gooch, I think that does it for us today on this episode of our fun podcast here at Delco Nerd Network. Thank you all for watching live. If you've been with us on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, we very much appreciate it. You can find us on all the social media pages at Delco Nerds. You can find this podcast on all podcast services for the most part. I don't think we're really missing any of them. And if we are, let us know. You can email us that at delconerds@gmail.com with all your comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to get back to you. We have a fun Discord page as well where we discuss many random topics, not including but not limited to DC Fandome. But you can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next week.
What?